Welcome back, guys. I'm Kennedy Holt, local realtor here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about a specific property or just want more info on the home buying process. My information is below. I would love to help. Feel free to reach out 24/7. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to do a step-by-step guide to the home buying process. I know a lot of different agents have different ways, but this is just how it would be if you were to work with me. So I broke it down into 6 steps. 7 is kind of the closing, so I didn't really include it, but 6 steps that will take you from what's your budget to congratulations, it's closing time. So stick around and let's dive right on into the video. Number 1, what's your budget? So figuring out how much home you can afford is one of the first steps to owning a home. I like to tell my clients, get in contact with the lender. They're going to be your go-to resources for everything funding the home. Typically, people like to go with their banks. I know some people prefer credit unions. I hear they have better rates, but typically you just want to get in contact with the lender and they are going to be responsible for the whole lending process and the financing. So they will also be responsible for getting you a pre-approval. That's pretty much like your golden ticket to get out and go home shopping. So that is number 1, and that is getting finance. Also with the lender, they're going to give you a pre-approval amount. So let's just say you were approved for $500,000. However, speaking with the lender, you may realize that the mortgage on a $500,000 home is not really comfortable for you. So that's where you will speak with the lender. Just let them know where you want to be at as far as your monthly mortgage rate. Say is $2,000 or $2,500 a month. They will typically redo the pre-approval to where we'll stay in that range, so you'll have the mortgage that you want. Just keep in mind that if you do find that we're out shopping for $300,000 homes, but you soon realize you have $350,000 or $400,000 taste, then we'll be able to go back to the lender and get a new pre-approval. But just keep in mind that the mortgages is probably going to rise as well. So also the pre-approval, you will get one of 4 types of approval. The first will either be conventional, second is FHA, third VA, and the fourth is USDA. So stay tuned because I'll be doing more videos going in depth about each of the type of loans. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple and just let you know the 4 types. Number 3, searching and touring. So this is definitely the more fun part of the home buying process. This is where we are sharing homes back and forth, compiling a list, going out, seeing the homes in person. And it doesn't really matter how many homes you need to see. For example, I had a couple, I had to show about 120 homes before we found the perfect one. And it got to a point to where we were very comfortable with each other. We knew we were going to see each other every day for a minute. So it's definitely no pressure. I'll show you as many homes as I need to. But this is definitely what I would consider the more fun part, and we actually get to interact with each other. You get to know me, I get to know you. And number 4, submitting an offer. So we've seen a couple of homes and you found the one that got good energy, is your house. So we're ready to submit an offer. So during this period, you would just pretty much tell me that you like the house, you want to submit an offer. We pretty much go over a couple of things that I would need to write in the contract. It would be the purchase price, how much you're willing to offer for the home, the closing date. Typically, closing is about 30 days out. That's just typical. So it'll be probably 30 days from the day that we write the offer. The next item in the contract would be the earnest money, and that's typically 1% of the sales price. And it's also kind of known as a down payment, and it just lets the sellers know that you're serious about your offer. It also goes towards your closing costs at the end, but I'll also explain all of this in greater detail in later videos. The next thing would be if the seller is contributing any closing costs. In this market right now, as of December 17th, 2022, sellers are paying some closing costs. So with my last deal, I got about 20K in closing costs. So it's definitely out there, and it would definitely help the buyers bring less to closing. The next thing we will discuss is the due diligence period, which is also known as the inspection period. Typically, in this market right now, 3 to 5 days is plenty of time to get an inspection done with the inspection report back. So during this time, we would hire you would hire an inspector. I will give you a list of some inspectors, but you also feel free to shop around, or if you know anyone, I would just recommend that they're licensed and insured. And while the inspector is inspecting top to bottom, he'll give us the report back. If it is anything that we need to address during the inspection report, this is our time during this inspection period. And if it's too much work or you feel like it's just not the right house anymore, we could definitely walk away and you will be entitled to receive your earnest money back. However, most sellers are willing to do the work that comes up on the inspection report to save the deal. So we have a lot of options when it comes to this stage. So just we'll be communicating a lot, so we'll always know where we are and where we need to be in the process. Also, we will put any special stipulations if the seller needs an additional week of occupancy in the home, or just any special stipulations that will arise. And that is the number 4 thing on our list. Number 5, offer accepted. Now what? All right, so now that your offer is accepted, first of all, let me say congratulations. We're one step closer to you getting your dream home. So, as earlier I mentioned that we needed to go through the inspection period. That starts as soon as you sign the contract, I've signed the contract, and the seller signed the contract. It would start if the listing agent hasn't signed, but typically they sign as soon as the seller signs. So as soon as we get all the signed paperwork back, the inspection period starts. So we would definitely have to get the ball rolling. After the inspection period, it's the appraisal contingency. So that is definitely ordered from the lender, but you just want to be in contact with the lender to make sure that they have the ball rolling, and it just helps make the process go along a lot smoother. So after the appraisal contingency, all of this is happening throughout, which is what we call the financing contingency. Typically, it could range up from anywhere between 14 to 21 days, and that is the lender getting all the back end, all the paperwork, is going through underwriting, getting everything approved and ready to be closed. And that is number 5. Our offer was accepted. Number 6. These are some potential out-of-pocket costs for the buyer. So aside from your down payment and earnest money, there are some additional upfront costs that can be associated with closing on a home. And it's I don't want to be like, oh, it's just nothing, because they do cost money. So here's a little sample list of what you can expect to kind of come out of pocket with. Appraisal costs. The appraisal, again, is ordered by the lender, but you would definitely have to pay for it. They typically range anywhere between 300 and 450. So just definitely try to have the lender shop around and get the best rate for you. the home inspection. They typically cost between $300 to $500, and it's definitely a buyer's expense. So you just have to budget for that as well. And closing costs, there are they're typically between 1.5 and 6%, depending on the type of loan you have, and also if the seller is willing to pay any closing costs. So in this market, I would definitely try to have the seller pay all, if not most, of the closing costs. So you definitely have to come out of the pocket with the least amount of money as you can. And that's number 6, the potential out-of-pocket costs for you. Number 7, congratulations, it's closing time. So the whole process can typically take around an hour to an hour and a half. There can be some last minute surprises, but I am there as your agent to make sure the entire transaction and process goes smoothly. The closing process, what typically happens is you're going to sign a mountain of paperwork and just keep signing. When you think you done signed a lot, it's more to sign. Also, any payments that are due from you, just i.e. closing costs or any other random payments that need to be made. Sellers and buyers, they will sign any final documentations that need to be signed. And you'll also receive a settlement statement that just lets you know where all the costs are going and where everything is down to the cent. A couple of things you want to make sure you bring is a photo ID, any outstanding documentation that the attorney or the lender might need, and your personal checkbook or cash just in case you need copies of anything. Just better have it than not to have it. So that is pretty much my simple 6-step process to the home buying guide. Thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. My information is below, and I would love to work with you. Thank you.